They come out with a flimsy excuse by saying it's the product of the union, the law. We know. We've been outside the law for 12 months. The law says we must cross the picket line. We didn't cross the picket line.
I'd also like to welcome Ramon Ponce de Leon, president of ILWU Local 13. He is a third-generation longshoreman and has been in the industry for nearly 4 decades. He has been dealing with the COVID pandemic amongst his members, who are very important essential workers that operate the Los Angeles Long Beach ports. These are the union's largest ports that supply food and goods for the United States and the world. Ramon Ponce de Leon, welcome.
Good morning, Margaret.
And perhaps, Ramon, starting with you, because the COVID-19 pandemic devastating in so many ways. And we also note, by the way, that nationally, labor union membership are kind of split on the COVID, whether to wear a mask, whether to get vaccinated, etc. But I'd like you to talk a little bit on this, our Labor Day special, of the challenges that workers, the longshoremen, are facing. Because a lot of people are, very unaware of the essential work done by longshoremen.
Kind of hard. I've been going through this for the past year and a half, and I'm going to have to regress in the memory banks here because we've also incurred the congestion situation. So that's been the hot topic. Going back to the beginning, March, sometime late March, the COVID hit the U.S. and us in Southern California, particularly where individuals were required to wear a mask and the protocols were being initiated. There was no blueprint on how to handle a pandemic, so everything was ad lib. Everybody was just doing whatever guidelines or agencies were sending down to us. There was a lot of chaos of who has the jurisdiction on what the protocols would be. So our Coast Labor Relations Committee, along with the PMA, designated the protocols to follow the CDC guidelines. And because, we have OSHA, you have the health department, you have various agencies in the state, everybody telling us how to work safe. Anyway, the mask issue was relatively not as big as we thought it would be. For the most part, the members of the ILWU, Class A, Class B, and the casuals all understood that the cargo needed to be we needed to continue working and supplying the cargo because we are a vital component to this nation's goods supply from the ocean carrying cargo. So they understood that, and for the most part, everybody wore a mask. There were some hiccups, the shield issue, and a few minor things, but for the most part, the mask issue on the protocol initially was there was a lot of cooperation. Although we couldn't get N95, we couldn't get the proper PPE because it was going to the first responders. Most of our people were wearing cloth masks, which people do today. And the CDC at that time, and it still says that the virus is only stopped with a proper PPE, which would be an N95, and now we have this K95. But our workers, that was some of the crossfire. But we told them, in any case, you're going to help each other, you're going to wear the mask, and you're going to go to work. So we all did.
Ramon Ponce de Leon, president of ILWU Local 13.
The future is still uncertain with the needs. The e-commerce has hit. People have went to a buying online rather than going to stores, and because of the pandemic, they aren't taking as many vacations or going out and to visit restaurants So the challenge has been people have doubled their buying power by the e-commerce, and there is no equipment available. It's all stuck somewhere. Chicago was shut down for 7 days. That's the rail hub, which is one of the hubs we feed through Southern California by rail. Trucking has taken. I mean, if you go on the roads today, it's so crowded, and the congestion is everywhere, all over the world. So the congestion, as a result of the pandemic and the exposure of the e-commerce that nobody was ready for. Not anybody in the world was ready for the e-commerce. So the congestion, along with trying to stay healthy and trying to get people back to work during COVID, these are challenges not just with us, but that's for everybody around the world. One of the challenges is trying to get together with everybody as a common goal to get answers and solutions to get the economy back on a stable and consistent flow.